Okay, guys, we're here with junior quarterback Chase Garbers. Questions for Chase, let me know in the chat and we'll call on you. So we'll get started with Trace Travers with the first question.
Yeah, just to start, how was some of that getting into that 11-on-11 stuff? Did you guys have refs out there and everything?
Yeah, we had refs out there. We had crowd noise playing from the speakers. So it was truly simulated like it'd be a game. You know, everyone was off on the sidelines. It was truly 11 players on offense versus 11 players on defense, you know, with refs. And it was great. It was a great atmosphere to be a part of. And I think our team responded really well.
Yeah, how have you felt the installation of the offense has continued through you guys getting into full pads a little bit more this past week or so?
Yeah, I mean, the install is almost done. We're pretty much done with our main stuff. Now just, you know, little quirks to plays, you know, here and there, and maybe a couple add-ons that will go in, you know, from the time we play Washington. But it's mostly complete, and, you know, the offense as a whole has done a real good job, you know, studying the playbook and knowing what to do.
Any highlights from today that you can share?
Yeah, Makai had a big deep ball down the sideline. Kakoa had two big deep balls. Ben Skinner's been playing real well. He had a nice grab over the middle. Colin Moore had a nice touchdown on the fourth down. Marcel Dancy's running really well. We had a big gain with him in the play the game part of the at the end of practice.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Jake Curtis from SI.
Yeah, Chase, you said you had crowd noise. Is that needed this year?
Yeah, we had crowd noise. You know, it might be needed just because you don't want, you know, the other team hearing your calls vocally. You know, stick it to hand signals and kind of disguise, you know, what you have to say if you have to communicate with the offensive line or wideouts. And same goes for defense.
What would you say is the most important thing that Coach Musgrave has told you about quarterbacking? What's the most important thing you learned about quarterbacking from him?
I'd say that probably the most important thing is having overall command of everybody, making sure, you know, the other 10 guys on the field know exactly what they're doing. And, you know, you're the guy at the end. If, you know, they don't know what they're doing in the huddle, you got to make sure they're right. I think, you know, that's the overall, you know, kind of big picture. And, you know, obviously not to turn the ball over. As long as we can keep the ball in our hands, you know, we'll succeed.
Has he changed any mechanics of yours, or is he focused on any particular mechanics?
No, mechanically, no. You know, he's done a good job not trying to mess with anyone mechanically, you know, whether it's myself or any of the other quarterbacks in the room.
Thanks.
Okay, Emily Oman from the Daily Cow.
Hi, thank you for taking the time today, Chase. I know you mentioned a little bit from some of the highlights that you talked about, some of the receivers having some great plays. So I'm kind of just curious in general how your chemistry has been with these receivers, and if you have any standouts, anybody you're really looking forward to playing with this season.
Well, I'm really looking forward to, you know, get Kakoa back on the field. You know, he missed a lot of time last year due to an injury. I think, you know, Nico and our chemistry, you know, has just only grown. Last year we saw it at the end of the year. And Makai, you know, he's really coming into who he's going to be as a player. You know, he was a true freshman last year, kind of shaky a little bit, but towards the end, kind of shown, you know, who he's going to be. And he's only grown since he's been here. A couple freshmen, Jeremiah Hunter, I'm excited to see. Justin Baker as well. Mason Mangum has made a couple, you know, spectacular catches these past 5 days. So just kind of building that chemistry with those guys since they've only been here for about a month now, you know, is definitely what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and then just one final question. I know you mentioned crowd noise, and I'm sure that's a pretty unique experience, but how else has this camp been different, just overall from your perspective?
Well, it's been different because, you know, a traditional camp, you're there from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You know, you probably have a 2-hour break somewhere in the middle of the day, and you're football 24/7, where now, you know, you only have a set amount of time from 2 to 6, you know, during the week, and from about 8 to 12, you know, on the weekend. So having, you know, less amount of time to do, you know, what we want to do is definitely a little different. But, you know, we get it done. You know, we're effective in what we do.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hey guys, do we have any further questions, or we're gonna let Chase off easy there? Trace, you'll make sure you have another one for him, and then after Trace, we'll go to Janie McCauley from AP.
Yeah,
Trace, go ahead.
we saw on Twitter Benji cooking for you guys. How was the post-practice meal?
I actually haven't been able to eat it yet. I
Oh.
came straight from practice to this interview. So after this, I'll let you guys know.
That was the right answer, Chase. Thank you. Trace, anything else, Trace, for Chase?
I'm good.
Okay. Janie McCauley?
Hi, Chase. Thanks for doing this. You spoke about Coach Musgrave's emphasis on not turning the ball over. All the strides you guys made as an offense last year, that was a big focus coming in, in Coach Wilcox's third season. How much can you build off that when you do have a new coordinator, and I guess the balance of momentum from what you did last year to learning a new offense that you're still installing with a game right on the horizon?
Yeah, well, as we know in football, turnovers are going to happen. It's just limiting those turnovers and not making dumb ones, so to speak. Not really throwing the ball the other team. If someone tips it at the line or goes through a wideout's hands, that'll happen. You just got to live with that and move on. Process it and move on to the next play. Coach Musgrave's done a great job with that. And, like you said, learning a new offense, I think this camp we've really shown we haven't really had many turnovers offensively. I think only a couple, since the start of camp. And I think that'll carry on to the season.
And Chase, have you heard about this racial justice council that some student athletes have formed? And, some student athletes at Stanford have come together doing mostly Black student athletes to provide a forum, whether it's a support network. So both universities have formed these groups separately. And what do you know about what they're doing at Cal? And just what does that mean to you to see some student athlete leaders coming together and bringing up issues that are really affecting all of us in society and just wanting to make positive change? What have you seen from that so far?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important what they're doing, and it definitely means a lot. I know, a couple of Cal student athletes who have, taken initiative in the whole Pac-12 council that they have going on. And I think it's really special. And I think it's a great use of their voice and a way to, get things out there that needs to be addressed. And I like what we're doing at Cal. Coach Wilcox has made a big emphasis on it. And, we come from a very diverse locker room, so we're all kind of, used to those hard and tough conversations. And I think, what has happened in the country, over these past 6 months is definitely terrible, and it needs to be addressed.
What are those conversations like? When do they happen? And I guess as a white player and a leader on this team, what do you do to make sure that those minorities on your team feel like they are represented and supported?
Yeah. Well, I think, first and foremost, just, hearing what they have to say and what experiences they've gone through, I think is definitely important as a leader, especially being a white player. Tough conversations that you could just have, whether, right after practice or if you, got to go sit down somewhere and, really talk it out, I think is, what we've really emphasized since we've been back. And Coach Wilcox has done a great job with that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Jake Curtis from SI.
Yeah, can you just talk about Jeremiah Hunter? What he brings? What are his assets?
Yeah, well, Jeremiah Hunter, obviously a very big body, huge frame, can go up and grab the ball off the top shelf. Kind of like Makai. He's got good speed. For a guy who's a true freshman, 18 years old, just coming off playing high school, he's got great releases off the line. He's been working, with Coach Toller and other wideouts and also with the DBs on, what works and what doesn't work at the college level. I think, the way he studies the game and has studied the offense so far is, definitely special, especially for a true freshman. And, I look forward to having him out there, on Saturdays, and I can't wait to see what he has in store.
Thanks.
Okay, give you guys 5 seconds. If anybody else has another one, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we'll let Chase move on. Okay, I think we're good to go. Chase, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you hustling over, and I hope you get to eat some of the food that Benji cooked up for you next.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the food.